Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. My name is Lynette. Today we're going to talk about when really good things happen to you and you're so excited, and then somebody can say one thing and it strips you of all that joy. And it's kind of perplexed me how that happens, why we let that happen. And I'm going to give you an example right up front. I had my one and only surprise birthday party, and I was so excited. I went to bed that night, and I felt like I was in a dream. Wow. All those wonderful people were there for my birthday. It was amazing the way I felt. And then a girl came over that day, and she started to tell me that this girl that I was allowing to stay with me had talked about me. And just then the girl returned home, so I couldn't even elaborate on it with her. However, I noticed it stole the joy. So basically there was a party of, at least 100 people, I would say. And one word from somebody who I'm not sure if she wanted to stir the pot. I don't know what her motive was for saying that to me. But nevertheless, I noticed and I allowed it to steal my joy from all those other people. I let the words that this person said, quoting one person, I allowed that to ruin, which would have been an amazing situation. I should have been thrilled. And to this day, I have a photo book of everybody from that birthday party. And every time I look at it, that's the first thing that comes to mind. So with that being said, I'm going to quote Oprah Winfrey. I remember one time on one of her shows, she said, you can get thousands of good emails, and then you get one bad one, and you want to hunt that person down. So it makes me think, why do we do that? Why do we let the bad outweigh the good? If you look back on your life, the things that were not so happy, I can remember exactly what happened, what was said, but I'm not sure I remember all the good things. So obviously our brains are wired to kind of jump to the worst scenario. So we need to work on correcting that and simplifying words to correct that is find the beauty in everything. So now I'm going to tell you another example that was helpful to me in this. It was my birthday again, not the same year, but another year. And I was going out with several girlfriends, quite a few girlfriends actually, maybe 5 or 7. And 2 or 3 called that they couldn't make it. And I started to feel sad. I started dwelling on the ones that couldn't make it. And then I was standing in the bathroom putting on my makeup, and I felt, and I've talked to you about that inner voice that you don't hear so much audibly outside your ears, but you hear it in your head. And that voice said to me, celebrate who is there. And that taught me so much, because instead of dwelling on who wasn't there, to enjoy who was there. And so from that day, it has made such a difference. It's such a small group of words put together, but it does make a difference, because in life, when things happen to us, if we find the beauty in it, and instead of looking at the dark side, the side that's not pleasing to you, if we can start dissecting it and taking what does make us happy in it, who is there for us. And look at that. Instead of feeling like we need to group in everything, it would flip that around, because no one or nothing should be able to steal your joy. This really is a big lesson, because no matter what happens to us, no matter what joy, there is always going to be a naysayer of some sort, or something that isn't favorable to you. Very rarely do things line up as you expect them to or you want them to. It doesn't mean anything negative. What it means is that's how it is supposed to be. So when something is taken away, whatever is left, even if it's you by yourself, maybe it's supposed to be that way for that day. Whatever is left, you find the beauty in that. You find the happiness in that. You find the love in that. If it's one person left rooting in your corner, then rejoice in that one person. Sometimes we need to just give it to ourselves. I was recently honored by this program, and I wasn't even going to say anything to anybody, because I realized some people are happy for you, some just aren't. And that's just the way it is for whatever reason. And then I got an email, and it showed all these options to put it on different social media sites. So I chose one, which was Facebook, and I put it on there, and I made it light. But I was really surprised is the low volume of a simple congratulations. And it made me realize that I don't need validation from anybody else. In fact, in an earlier episode, I mentioned that when you find success, let the success make the noise. You don't need to. You don't need to talk about it before it happens. It in itself, and that goes for everything. That goes for you being your best self. That goes for your happiness. You don't need to convince people of anything about you. Just be who you are. And I believe we will be a magnet to the right people in our lives. But as we get stronger in who we are, I think we realize who to keep at arm's length, who you want to spend your time with, who makes you feel good. A good marker is when you walk away from an individual and you say to yourself, how do I feel? Or if you have a long telephone conversation and you hang up, is your mood good, or did they bring you down? So as you walk and being your best self, part of being your best self is also feeling good inside, feeling good all the time. And this is certainly a key component in feeling good all the time, is when good things happen to you and then certain things get chipped away, is to transform your mind so you're not looking at the things that got chipped away, but you're honoring and celebrating the good, no matter what it is, no matter if it seems small, because I believe that we get just what we're supposed to get. And again, I can't convey this enough, that as we go through life and we want to be our best self, part of being our best self is being happy. And I believe part of being happy, of course, is looking at things the right way. So just one big component of what chips away at a person is allowing others, rather through their silence or their words or whatever, dictate what your mood is going to be like. But if you establish the way to work around this, the way that you know because you know that it doesn't matter what shifts have been made. What matters is it's supposed to be. What matters, who is there. In other words, it's celebrating whatever you do get and letting the rest of it go. And that certainly sets a tone for a lot of freedom. I know this is probably very simple to say, but if you look at some of the comments on social media, no matter how good someone is, no matter how talented, how sweet, how this, how that, there is always haters. And I don't know why, but it doesn't matter because we don't need to let what they say or what anyone says feed into our psyche. We can take compliments. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if you've noticed it, sometimes it's hard to even accept compliments. But I think wrapping our heads around accepting a compliment, accepting all that's good, and blocking out all that's bad is one of the keys to happiness. There's so many steps to take to being your true self, to know what you shouldn't let bother you, and to allow in only the good people, only the good words, and the rest, try to discard it. I believe I mentioned to you on the last episode or the one before that when I'm scrolling on social media and I start to hear something real negative, rather than listening to it, buying into it, I just scroll past it immediately. That's kind of like in life. We let people say and do what they want, but we have the choice to allow into us what feels good, what feels right, what makes you feel better. In fact, the things that you allow into your body should be things that make you a better person, a healthier person. It's like when we eat something, when we do anything, we think about how it's going to affect our health. Well, the same goes with exterior environments in terms of words from others, in terms of actions from others. We have the choice to let it in and let it affect us or not. I got to be honest with you, for many, many years, I was guilty of allowing the negative to be my truth. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because it's easier to accept the negative or believe the negative. And it wasn't until the Holy Spirit told me to celebrate who is there. It really made me understand by turning things around and instead of dwelling on what you don't have, to celebrate and be happy for what and who you do have. As a matter of fact, as I'm speaking, it's making me realize that's what gratitude comes from. Gratitude is so important. And we do need to be grateful for whatever we have, whatever is good, no matter how small it may seem at the time. It doesn't matter. We need to be grateful for what we have. And that includes friends, health, whatever it is. We need to be grateful. So what I'm saying is that as you're going through life, and there are ups and downs in life, and as you get on an upswing, don't let anybody or anything steal that from you. Instead, turn it around, look at it, and if it's not exactly the way you want it to be in your head, be grateful, be happy, celebrate what it is. Because it's a win. It's always a win when things go in your favor. If you can look at it and think about it the right way, then it becomes a double win. When that becomes a part of your life, you won't be feeling so up and down. It will be more of a smooth transition because you're letting it go. I liken it to scrolling. Picture your life as if you're scrolling. If you start to hear anything negative or see anything negative, Just go past it and absorb what is there, what is good, what is bringing joy to your heart. With that being said, I thank you for listening. I hope you all have a great week, and I will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.